Hey, Crafty Queens, it's Rachel, and welcome to Paper Rain. First, let me just say thank you and welcome to all my new subscribers. It blesses me that you would subscribe and join our little crafty queendom. And to my ride or dies, all right, let's do this, right? So anyway, my most watched video is my Raskog video, and I made it about 3 years ago. Probably when the hype of the Raskogs had just started, and I decorated my Raskog originally as an art card, and had all my mixed media stuff in it, but I hadn't really used it, right? So it was more like conceptually, this is how I set it up. But I have learned a lot from that first time when I made that first one. So much so that my Raskog collection has grown. Excuse my shakiness. My Raskog collection has grown. I have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 Raskogs. Now I hear you, Rachel, do you really need 5 Raskogs? And actually, yes, my Raskogs, those are my favorite art organization tool. I mean, I swear by them. I love them. Why? One, they're transportable. You can move them around the house, you move them wherever you're working. And not only that, like if you're going somewhere, so if I have local business travel, right, and I have to stay overnight in a hotel, I will pack up 2 Raskogs in the back of my Suburban and have a great art retreat, right? And then if I have a crafty date with my girlfriends, I just pack them up in the car. So I just love them. They're functional, they're practical, they're useful in my space when I actually create. I just move them around to wherever I'm creating. As I mentioned in my craft video, and I'd recommend, I'm sorry, my craft video, my craft room tour video, I mentioned that I set them up when I'm jelly printing, and literally I'll have and I think I show you a picture in the video. I have a paint cart on the side and another paint cart on the other side, so it's surrounding me. Anyway, without further ado, please enjoy. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to show you, excuse my French, I'm not going to teach you, I'm going to show you how I use my Raskogs, how I set them up. And because I am the type of person that when I watch Raskog videos, I'm really, I'm window shopping on the down low. I'm like trying to see what you got and what colors you know. That's just how I like watching Raskog videos like that, or any kind of craft room. I'm shopping, right? You know, I'm shopping before I shop, and so I'm going to give you that opportunity to shop in my stuff. And so what I'm going to do is after each little segment that I show you a Raskog, I then will lay out my supplies. It's a still photograph, and so you can actually see what colors I have and what brands I have. Hope you like that as much as I like that, and enjoy this video. Please like it at the end, or like it now, subscribe now, right? But thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye. You know, I think half the fun of the Raskog is the ability to pimp out your Raskog and that search for the perfect container. And I have searched high and low for the perfect container, and I don't know if there can be found. But I just wanted to show you a couple that I did find. The challenge with the Raskog is you want to be able to maximize the amount of containers that you can put in the space. And you'll go into the stores and you'll find an option, you'll think I'll get 2 of these, and then they won't fit because of the dimensions. And so I want to show you on several occasions options where you can fit 2 containers in the inside one tier. So our first containers come from Target, and in these little black containers you can fit 2 across the bottom, but they also have some small ones that you can fit inside of the containers. The Walmart ones you see I use a lot, they fit 2 in a tier. As you'll see here in this picture, I'm showing you that both of these actually fit down in a tier, and then you can stack them. They do stack. And then these I got from Michaels, they fit 2 in a tier. The challenge with the Michaels ones is they're very tall and kind of awkward, but they work. The dollar store ones, you can fit 2 or more. I think you can fit 2, and then you have space. You'll notice I fill in the space that's left over. Now this box is called the Really Useful box. You get it from Staples. This is the 10-liter one. I love this box. It comes with a lid. It's very handy, very sturdy. These snap boxes from Joann's, I love them. You can fit 2 in a tier, and they stack up. These are the classic containers from IKEA, the Beigel, I believe is what they're called. And then, of course, everybody knows these little, I don't know what they're called, cups you put on the edge. Those are classics. You have to have those. So let's get into how I organize. I've organized one by function, and by that I looked at the purpose of the supplies
what was the actual purpose of the supplies? Like, were they paints? Then I organized by use, meaning I wanted the containers to be movable, and so I tried to keep how do I actually function in my room, or how do I use them? That's actually how I wanted to organize. And then the last one was I organized by collections. I had thought about organizing by color, but then I realized it's important to keep the collections together because I tend to use, like, you want to keep all of your delusions together. Why? Because delusions react to water, and you don't want to have your delusions sitting in with let's say I organized by color and did all the reds together. Then if I pull the delusions out by accident, then might not realize that I'm going to cause a reaction on my paper that I don't want. So that's why I by um, organized by collection. They're just easier that way. So let's check out Raskog 1. My first Raskog is my light paints, okay? Here we go. So on the top of this Raskog, I have my golden acrylics and my Deco Art Media. You'll see me pull up some in a minute. But basically here are all light paints is what I'm trying to show you here. Okay, so here we go. So I've got Deco Art paints in the front, the first one, and these are like probably my most grabbed, right? So I got my big box, my big goldens. I've got some random. I have oh, okay. I have my Jane Davenport. I only have a small collection of Jane Davenport. I've got four. Why? Because I love this collection. I love the tone. I make brown girls, and so that's why I got that one. So let's talk about the top tier. In the top tier of my Raskog for my light paints, I have, come on, Vanna. I've got my Target paints. These are my Target metallics, my growing collection of Target metallics. And I have my collection of Deco Art Media. They're fluids. They're high pigment, beautiful paints. And then I also have my goldens, my small little golden 1 ounce containers. And in the center, I have, also I have some high flow in the back. Again, these are the ones I would grab for the most. And then on the side, I have more of my Target paints. They're a nice acrylic craft paint. And then on the other side, I have some of these Waverly chalk paints you can get from Walmart. I just discovered them and actually love them. Okay, here you go. So here's actually my collection of Deco Art Media paint and my golden. And you can see some of the colors I have. But the good thing about them is the quality of the pigment is gorgeous. And these are my little small golden collection. I pick these up when they're on sale, as well as these high flows. I love the high flows on the jelly print plate. Oh, they're gorgeous. And these are my most loved goldens that I use all the time. You'll see them in my videos. I keep them on standby. Here's my metallic goldens my metallics from Target. Okay, in my middle tier of my light paint cart, I have, what do I have here? Oh, I have some new paints that I just found. They're called enamels. Oh, no, these are the dyes. These are the dyes. And I also have some Blicks. I just got into Blicks. One of the ladies I follow that does jelly printing, she loves and swears by Blick mats, and they're really gorgeous and great color and great pigment. So I'd highly recommend those. And then this is the the sale that we all took advantage of at Hobby Lobby. I had actually had some before, so I knew they were good paints. And so when I saw them on sale, I grabbed them quickly. Here are my delusions that I talked about earlier. They react to water. And so I have a small collection. I didn't realize how many I was missing, but I have the colors that I love, and that's where they go. And as I mentioned in the container thing, those containers stack. Oh yes, here's the thing. Folk Art Ultra Dye. Talk about straight pigment. You got to try those. Okay, so these are the Delusions paints that I have. Classic colors, the bold colors. I tend to like bold colors. You're going to notice that trend that my collection lacks muted colors. I just kind of lack them. I don't really have any. I probably need to get some muted colors. Here's the collection of the and here's the Blick. I'm sorry, I had a forgetful moment. And here's some classic colors I use. I love primary colors, and so I keep these on standby because I grab them all the time. On my bottom tier of my light paint cart, I have these two containers that I got from Walmart. I mentioned them in the container thing. And on the top, I have my metallics from Martha Stewart, a small little collection of Martha Stewart metallics. And I actually like the Martha Stewart acrylics. The great color, very smooth, a nice assortment of colors. So I definitely, they're a little pricey, so I got them whenever they come on sale, or if I ever get one of those 40% off coupons of everything, that's when I go get Martha Stewart paints. What I'm showing you here are the Martha Stewart watercolors that I got at when they had a 40% coupon of everything type deal. And these are my, oh my goodness, those are my Paper Artsy Fresca paints. I am in love with those paints. Beautiful colors. So here's the Martha Stewart paints. Just wanted you to see the colors. Here they are. If you wanted to actually see the colors and write them down, you'd just stop and write them down. And here are my small but growing collection of Paper Artsy. I just already know I'm going to just buy more of those. Those are. And here I have my Martha Stewart watercolors. I should do a product review on these, but they are amazing. They imagine the cross between a gel and a watercolor and an acrylic paint. Great coverage, great color, but we'll talk about them in a product review. And next up is my Raskog number 2, which is for my heavy body paints. On the top tier of my Raskog with the heavy body paints, I have, again, some of my most reached for. Right here, I'm showing you I have all of my tall tubes in this green container that I got from dollar store. So it matches the little containers that I have, but I'm just showing you the various brands that I have. At the end, you'll see I lay them out for you, but I just have, the brands you pick up at your local craft stores. And that's just kind of what I have. And then here I have some some oil colors that I just recently got. And then I'm turning the Raskog around. On the outside, I have some Luminaire paints. They're gorgeous, and I just keep them handy because I like to add them if I need a little detail. I'm a big metallics girl, so I keep them handy. I also have some of my inks, my Ranger inks on the side there, and on the other side I have my golden neon collection. And there's a picture of my tall tubes standing up. And here you go. So those of you who want to see, I have some PBO and the metallics and the metallic collection. Iridescent, I think is what they call them. And then I here have some various that I got from my clearance. But then I have some Amsterdam acrylics and some classic bright colors. You're going to know a pattern. I love bright, bold colors and metallics. And so here's the Artist Loft. They had some metallics and they had some bright colors. I tend to buy the same colors, I know. Here's Premier. I think those are AC Moore maybe. Here's my golden collection, the 5. I think I'm missing blue. I gave it away because I'm allergic to blue. But here it is again. See, I don't really count that teal as blue. Other people do, but I don't count teal as blue. It's more of a blue-green. It's actually teal. Anyway, here are those Luminaire paints. Okay, the middle tier of my heavy Raskog cart has my Impasto paints. I just recently purchased the collection. I think I did a jelly printing video that you might want to check out. Here I have some of those are erroneously placed. Those texture paints should be somewhere else, and so you're just gonna see me throw them aside. But I have some golden heavy body. I have some Liquitex golden body, and I also have my Dina Wakley heavy body paints in there. And I need some more Dina Wakley. All those tubes are kind of empty. And here's the picture. So these are my Impasto colors, and I really like them. I love the pigment. As you see, I got 2 crimson. Why? I love red. And here's my little collection of Dina Wakley. On the bottom tier of the heavy body Raskog, I have more paints. These are my most favorite paints. These are the Luminaire metallics, and they are so rich and so creamy. And then I also have the Finnebar Prima's metallic collection. Love these paints here, and you'll see that they're very well used. And some of them, I think I got 2 almost empty jars, which breaks my heart. And then underneath that, I have this big black container also from Target. It matches the small and medium ones, and it has just my metallic collection. Again, I mentioned I am a metallic girl, and I collect metallic paints. And so here you see, here are the Art Alchemy acrylic paints. And here are the Lumiere acrylic metallic paints. They are so yummy. I mean, the light glistens on them, the way they glide on the paper. Love them. And I need some more of these art anthologies, but I haven't. I only have that one bottle that you saw. But see, that green one's almost empty. And here's my metallics. And yes, I buy several of the same colors on accident, of course. And oh, this is a new collection I bought. The colors shipped. I'll do a review soon on those colors. And you can get them at Walmart. And these folk art, we all know where you can get these, but I got the greens, the purples, and reds. And like I noticed here, I got like two of these rose golds. And I got like four of this one color here. The royal gold. I really do have like four of those. And I have some Blick paint over there. And the amethyst, apparently I got those 2 times. But you know, that happens. Okay, so my Raskog 3 is my texture card. It's probably one of my favorite cards. And on the top of my Raskog, so this is just a picture of the Raskog you see in front of you. But the top tier, I have my stamps, my clear stamps, not my entire collection, just the ones that add texture to pages. And so it's like background stamps, it's texture stamps, but they're all clear. And I have them in this little container that I can lift and put on my desk, which I love. I think, no, actually, this is that Antonius, the one everybody uses for Project Lifeguards. It fits these stamps great, and they just kind of stand up, and I can just fiddle through them and, you know, and look real quick to see what I want. But I've been collecting these background types of stamps for a while, so I have a ton of them. And then on the side, you'll see I'm just showing you more background stamps. I can't remember where those are from. I'm not good with where I get stuff. I'm good when I buy them, but then after that, I'm not very good. I think those are Kaiser Craft, the medium-sized ones that I had. And I have some alphas that I use. And here's another picture just to show you the stamps. And you'll see me use them all the time in my mixed media, my art journals, my jelly print. Another picture of just so you can see some of the stamps. I'm always going to look for good background stamps. They just give texture to your pages. And then the middle tier of my texture Raskog number 3, I have some more fun goodies, okay? I have a container of rubber stamps, but again, they're background and texture stamps. And so I've got a various collection. I just take them out the package, throw them all in there, because when I'm working. I'm not looking to try to take anything out. I want to just fiddle through there, find what I need, and put them in there. And I like to keep these open just because I like to touch them. And then I had another basket like that one, and I had these loose in there, but some of them were getting lost. So I kind of gathered them up by likeness. And so here I have my rubber stamps unmounted that are background and texture. And I just kind of keep them all in this little container. And then these are all stitching, and I keep them all together because they can easily get lost. But those are all a lot of fun to work with and give pages some texture and little accents. Like that's one of my favorite. I'm showing you one of my favorites, the little stitching, because you know that way I don't get a sewing machine out. I just stamp a stitch on, and then I have a whole collection of these paint stamps. Right, like if you wanted to make paint drops and paint splashes, hey, you got a lot of stamps to do that. And so then underneath that, I have my foamy stamp collection. I love art foamies. I'm going to show you how to modify them and make them your own in a video. I have that coming. So I just go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss that, how you can take the foamies and get 2 for 1 out of one foamy. But I'm just showing you what I have. Don't worry. I'm going to go slower. I'm going to take a steal. These things right here are great. They're impression... what is the name of those things? I'll have to put it in the link. But anyway, these are Fiskars and Sizzix impression plates. And I think they're for embossing, for cards, but they make great impressions. They make great impressions on the jelly print and in your art journal. You can do a rubbing and rub over. These are some from the bakery aisle. They also, too, make great impressions. So here's an up close of the rubber stamp collection. Love these stamps right here. And you'll see I have various types. I love text, love little polka dots, and just texture and background give your stamps dimension. These little containers, you can get them at Michael's, or the photo containers. And so I use both the 4x6 and the 5x7, but they're great storage containers. Here are the rubber, some of the rubber ones out, just so you can see. And there's various collections in here, 4 or 5 collections, and here's some of the stitching and here's the paint collection, just so you can see. And I'll try to look them up and include them. But here's my art foamies, and you can see this container. I have 2 of these, and you just actually can pull them up, right? All right, so here's my art foamies out, and you'll see that you can see the ones that I use all the time. They still have the paint on them. These are those foam impressionable things I was telling you about. They're not foam, I'm sorry. They're like plates, plastic plates, but you use them to make impressions. And these are the scissors plates that I have. Okay, on the bottom tier of my texture Raskog, I have more stamps. Here's some foam stamps that you get at like dollar stores and stuff. They're big, and these are some foam stamps that I made, and so I will plan on doing a video. I'll show you how I did those. They're very fun to make. And make them your own. As you see, I like to make African inspired, kind of tribal print inspired designs, and so that's what those are. Just showing my little collection. These are actually inspired by a picture I have on my wall down in my kitchen. And then I also have some bought foam stamps. And then I have these little things. I have no idea what they are. They might be like a massage tool or something, whatever. And these are my roller stamp collection. And literally I have been collecting these for like 3 years. Whenever I see them on eBay, I buy them up. A lot of them are close to my heart. I also found some at like a teacher's art store, but a great collection. I'm just showing you the various times that I have. Don't worry, I'm going to show you in more detail. I'm going to lay them out for you. But they make great textures in paint. They make great texture on your jelly plate. So they're just great to add texture and dimension. Again, this is what the whole purpose of this tray is. Here's the foam stamps. Here's the ones I made. Again, I just cut big foam out and placed them on backing. These are the ones that I bought, and this is how I got my idea from. I saw how they packaged them. These are Catherine Wheel made those, and then these are the roller plates I was telling you about. A lot of them are close to my heart, and then some of them I got, especially the Afrocentric and tribal prints. I got them from a art store. Now on to my 4th Raskog. My 4th Raskog, I have my mediums, and my top tier of this one, I have room to grow. So this will probably morph into something else because what I have on it is just kind of random stuff right now. I got some empty trays. I've got some empty containers. I got my paint trays. So this one still needs some work because it's the top of the tray. It means it's going to be grabbed a lot. So I need to make sure that it's what I need the most on it. But let's just talk about how I have the rest of the container. I have some gloves. I have my invisible glove. Love that. In the middle, I have some mediums. And so I think in the middle I have like my gessos, right? Yeah, I have all my different types of gessos, and black gesso, white gesso, clear gesso, different brands of gesso. I've got some retarder, all kinds of mediums just on that middle one. Lots of various kinds of gessos and modeling paste, right? Just lots of those on that container. And so here you see what I have, right? I've got golden gel medium and acrylic glaze and gold gesso. And let's talk about that TCW gold gesso. What? Must have, right? I'm foaming to get the rest of the collection. At the bottom tier of my medium Raskog, I have a lot of my adhesives. So I've got Mod Podge, and I've got apparently I've got some stamp cleaner there, but I've got also my Vans furniture. I've got some tacky glue, some gesso, some more, all kinds of gel mediums on the bottom. So here you see what I have on the bottom. Clearly I have a straggler of gesso, but we're going to leave it there. And then last but not least is my Raskog 5, my color cart. This one pulls up right next to my desk when I'm sitting at my desk to make marks. And I just pull it right next to my desk, and it becomes an extended surface. On the top tier of my 5th Raskog, my color cart Raskog, I have my tins of distress ink, and I also have two of my snap containers, which I showed you earlier. And the top one has my paint markers, and I have, let me take the top off real quick. I have my Posca pens. They're a great paint marker, and I also have these Jane Davenport. They're okay, but they're hard to compare when you got like Posca and Liquitex. They're just little. They're okay when you compare them to those, right here. So you'll see me showing you. I have more paint markers, Liquitex and Sharpie paint markers, as well as Molotow paint markers there. And then in this box, I have on the top, I have, it's a 3-tier box, and I'm just showing you it's 3 tiers. On the top, I have my my water activated crayons, if you will. That's what we'll call them for now. So I've got like my Neo colors. I've got, I'm trying to show you so I got my Neo colors. I got my scribbles. I've got my Jane Davenport. I don't know what they call them. I'm going to call them water crayons, okay? Because you add water to them and then they become watercolor, right? So maybe they're water soluble crayons. That's what we're going to call them. And love them. I like to travel with them because you can get a whole lot of pigment out of one little crayon. In the second one, I have my wax crayons and various wax crayons. I've got Delusions. I'm sorry. No, I don't have Delusions. I have the Distress crayons. I have art markers. I've got 4 brands. I got some generic brand I saw at a store, and they were metallic, and so I picked them up. But I'll show you a little clip of those in a minute. And then on the last one, I have my oil pastels, and I keep them on the bottom because they make a mess if they get on the carpet. But I've got the cheap ones. I've got some Primas. I've got some expensive artist grade as well in there. And I'm going to let you see what I have in there in a minute. I also have my colored pencils are stored on this level. And again, I use those those picture containers to house my colored pencils because I can get so many in there as opposed to keeping them in the tin they come in. So in this box, I think I have 4 different brands in there. I've got my ink tints in there. I've got some Stadler in there. I've got maybe Jane Davenport, maybe Prima. In between the 2 boxes, I have like 4 or 5 different types of colored pencil and watercolor pencils. So between the 2 boxes, you'll see them. I'm showing you right now what they are, not realizing that you can't actually see them. So don't worry. I'm going to show you in the pictures in a couple seconds. I'm showing you where I keep my blending tools and my little sponges and my fine liners. They're all in the cups around me. So here you can see the different types of pencils that I have in between the 2 containers. And here's the collection. So I have Inkwins, I have Jane Davenport, I have Prima, I have some Stadler. Okay, and then here's those containers or snap containers again. And in the top one again, my Posca pens, and then I have the Jane Davenport. I think I got two both sets. And in this box, I have the Molotow acrylic paint markers. I have Liquitex. Here are my water-soluble crayons, and the 3 types. I have Neo colors. I have Jane Davenport, and I have the scribbles, and I can't wait to get Scribble 2. Here are those wax crayons that I have, and here are the 4 different brands. So I have they're the 4 different brands. And here are my oil pastels. And here are the 4 collections that I have. If you wanted to order them, those would be the names. Okay, my middle tier of my color cart is up next. And in my middle tier of my color cart, I have some more metallics, of course. But I have some more inks. I have inks everywhere on this cart. And more inks. And then I have one of those Michaels containers, and this houses my metallic watercolors, right? Again, I told you I was a metallic girl, so I've got various metallic watercolors. I've got the Prima collection, that's what I'm holding up there. I've got the little generic one you can get from like Michaels, one from like Joann's. And then I have my twinkling H2Os in this container as well. And I keep those in these little containers that you would find in the jewelry making section. Here I'm showing you some more metallics, but it's my modeling paste collection. And so here I have my Inca Golds in probably all the colors that you can get at the big craft stores. And then I have these little jars of silk. And I think I recommended in another video, if you're trying out stuff, try them. If you can get them in a small container, get them in a small container. As you can see, those containers are empty because I love silks, especially in those two colors. And so here's my other collection of silks. And then the last are my pearlescent pearls. And so here's a container, just so you can see how you can stack a whole lot of stuff in those containers. Here they are spread out. And here are my silks and some of my modeling pastes. And here are my perfect pearls. My little collection. And here are all of the metallic watercolor collection that I have. And here are my twinkling H2Os. As I mentioned, those containers are from the jewelry section. Those are really bead container holders is what it was supposed to have been for, but I put them in there to keep them all together. Here are the titles if you just want to see what I have. Love twinkling H2Os. I haven't seen if you can use them on a jelly plate yet, but hey, maybe I'll put that in my future experiments. Okay, on the bottom tier of the last Raskog, our color cart, I keep my inks. I love inks. Inks are like my finisher. They're like my secret weapon. At the end of the day, I always just throw on some ink, give it some extra color. And so I'm just showing you that I have some Blick watercolor, liquid watercolor, and that's always fun to play with. I have some Liquitex inks as well as the FW inks. I also have some art anthology inks in there, and I think I have a couple of the zincs. Oh, those zincs, great color. They come in like these neon bright colors, and they're so vibrant, and they stay on the paper that way. And so here's the collection I just got from Hobby Lobby. Here's the Blick watercolors. I wanted you to be able to see the names of them that I have. Here are the irresistible drops as well as the art marker spray. Here's the zincs, iZinks, pigment, and the art anthology. Here are the Liquitex inks, various colors. Again, these are collections built over time. I know I never just go out and buy all of them. I buy like one at a time. Here are my gelatos. I realized I wasn't using my gelatos because I had them in a drawer, so I pulled them out on there and I'm using them a lot more. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun seeing how I organized my Raskogs as well as shopping in my collection. Please like and subscribe to see how I use all of this amazing stuff. Thank you so much for your time.